This is InsideInvestmentBanking.com, the place where you can find every secret you need to break into banking. Decoding the number one most given banking interview, first rounders. First of all, we're talking about the formal gimme a job type of first round interview here, not about the investment banking informational interview, which is simply a meet and greet. First rounders are where your banking lives really kick off, and their importance comes down to the simple fact that if you mess up here, your banking life is DOA, dead on arrival. For target school kids, first-round interviews will frequently take place on campus when the banks roll into town, and will often be with an analyst or other junior banker who's an alumnus of your school. In other countries, it might take place at the bank's headquarters and will be with a representative from the IB's HR department, or even a junior banker. For non-target school kids who manage to get a formal recruiting interview, it might take place at a nearby school or at the bank. More likely, though, you'll start out with informal interviews over coffees, aka informational interviews, thanks to your networking, which can then lead to formal interviews at the bank's headquarters. But location is the least of our worries, so let's move on. It's more important for you to recognize that the purpose of the first round interview is to act as a quality control mechanism. Junior bankers simply aim to cull enough students so that final rounds, aka Super Saturday or simply Super Day, can take place without a throng of 10,000 students storming the bank's offices. And so that means during first-round interviews, you're only getting tested on 1, your track record is listed on your resume, 2, your personality, and 3, your basic technical skills. Thankfully, you will only be summarily grilled on these issues, because first-round banking interviews don't go for that long. Think 20-30 minutes. How can you sail through first-round interviews? Well, if you manage to get along with the interviewer, then you're probably through, i.e. if you can talk about your resume for a couple of minutes, get the banker smiling, and answer some basic as Ben Stiller questions about financial statements and Finance 101 valuation techniques, you'll most likely get green-lighted for another interview. And if you can show you have serious passion for banking by talking about your journey over the years, how it has led you to banking and made you want it more than ever before, you're almost home. Increasingly important in today's recruiting environment, though, is your ability to handle some basic investment banking technical interview questions and brain teasers during first rounds. You see, banks are loading interviews with more than ever before because it's the fastest and most objective way to eliminate a huge chunk of the candidate pool, an important point when supply and demand is as out of whack as it is now. At the end of the day, though, these first-round interviews are just about eliminating the Ben Stiller-type retards, i.e. a basic smarts cut. Or, said with more panache, these interviews are simply about eliminating the also-rans, not about picking the stars, so don't stress. This has been another InsideInvestmentBanking.com presentation.